Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and this is your spooky photo news fix. This fix is brought to you by allenscamera.com. Allen's Camera has been around since 1977 and is one of the last independent camera stores in the country. If you're looking to buy new, trade in some old gear towards new gear, or simply want to support a mom and pop establishment, check out allenscamera.com. On top of that, you could stop by on Saturday, November 16th from 10 to 4 p.m. for Allensapalooza, where there will be trade-in deals, discounts, free sensor cleanings, free tacos, and representatives from the
Mount Alliance,
as well as all other brands will be on hand. And if you do go, don't forget to tell them the Fro sent you. Do it! First up, DJI's decided that the Mavic Pro just wasn't small enough and that the super small Spark wasn't foldy enough, so they decided to breed the two, and this was the result. Introducing the DJI Mavic Mini, which is an ultralight 249-gram drone that does not need to be registered with the FAA. FAA is better than FAA. There's a 12-megapixel sensor that sits on a 3-axis gimbal and shoots 2.7K video up to 30 frames per second, as well as 60 frames per second when shooting 1080. Since this camera's more designed for the hobbyist, DJI has updated the Fly app to include a P mode, which doesn't mean professional Ken Rockwell. It means fly in position, aka I dare you to try and crash it mode. DJI must think that this is a video game because more experienced pilots can unlock sport mode as well as a Cine Smooth mode. If you're a terrible drone pilot like me who's not capable of cinematic moves, DJI has you covered. They've included 5 quick shots, which are pre-programmed flight maneuvers that you can access with a press of a button. There is rocket mode, circle mode, droney, and helix mode. For those wondering how long this toy will stay in the air, the answer is a surprising 30 minutes. Steven, guess what it doesn't have?
What?
RAW. It will only shoot JPEGs, and JPEGs suck. So basically, it has Ken Rockwell mode. If you'd like to pick up the Mavic Mini, you can do so right now for $399 or $499 with a case, propeller guards, charging base, and 3 extra batteries. Now, we may need to add this to the collection here at the factory. Will you be adding it to your collection? Next up, is Canon in trouble?
Yes!
Steven, you didn't let me finish my statement. Now let me try that again. Next up, is Canon in trouble?
Yes!
Steven! Screw it. Canon's released their Q3 financial results and they are continuing to trend in the wrong direction with less and less cameras being sold. But that's not the focus of this story. The focus of this story is that they've dropped prices of 3 full-frame cameras. The 6D Mark II is now $1199 opposed to $1599. The EOS R has dropped another $200 to $1799, which is still $100 more than the Z6, which includes an F to Z adapter. And most surprisingly, the 5D Mark IV brand new is selling for only $24.99. Hey, sorry, Steven, because your body is going to be worthless when you try to sell it to your barber. If you're a Canon shooter who's been waiting to go mirrorless, the EOS R is basically a steal at this price. I want to put this out there once again. Canon is the sleeper of the bunch. Yes, their sales are way down as they attempt to transition to mirrorless, but I think in 3 years or less, they will see their sales and profits start to rise again. In another Canon story, 2 patent filings were uncovered that show what might be 2 yet unannounced RF lenses. First, we have the RF 10-24 f4, which would put it at 1 millimeter wider than the current 11-24 f4 EF lens. Well, Steven, is that math correct?
Well, I don't know.
11, 10, yeah, 1 millimeter, it's right, thank you.
All right, good.
Now, I think this is a very interesting range and recall being asked by some of Canon's engineers if I would prefer an 11-24 2.8 or a 10-24 f4. I personally think I still prefer the 2.8, but if they can get the weight and price right on a 10-24 f4, a ton of people would buy it. Then again, that would surmise that people actually own Canon mirrorless cameras other than the 10 people watching who own EOS Rs. They lost 2 since last week. It's down to 10, not 12. Next, there's a filing for an RF 14-28 f2. Yes, you heard that right, a 14-28 f2.
It is a
real.
If this lens is real, it will pair up perfectly with a 28-70 f2. Now, all you need to do is make sure that you're in great shape and have enough money saved, because this is going to be a heavy and expensive lens. Hey, Steven, good thing I work out and make that YouTube money. These people have no idea how funny, and I mean these people, I mean you people.
What do you mean, you people?
By you people, I mean you people watching.
What do you mean, you people?
What's funny is Nikon spends time creating a manually focusing 58mm lens that's $8,000, and Canon's like, cool, here's a $3,000 28-70 f2 and a $4,000, in my estimation, 14-28 f2 RF that's actually useful. We have an exclusive message from Canon to all of the other camera manufacturers that starts with, you.
I do what I want.
What do you think the 14-28 f2 will cost?
Pound of flesh.
And finally, when will the Nikon Z70-200 2.8S be released? That's a great question, Jared. Thank you for asking. The truth of the matter is, it should have been released in Q3, and here we are in Q4 still without any new information. Now, I tried poking Madeline at Nikon for some information, but she denied me on multiple fronts. Meaning, like, I tried to ask her out. But Madeline's made up, all right? She's not a real person.
But then who knows?
But the truth of the matter behind me doing this story is to share this image of the 70-200 and lodge an early complaint about it. This lens still looks to be roughly the same size as the current 70-200. And look at where the zoom ring is. It's still on the outside, which I absolutely despise. Yes, the new Canon RF 70-200 also has the zoom ring on the outside, but that lens is roughly half the length of this one, and that zoom ring is in a perfect place. Now, if I had to guess, and I do have to guess, this lens will be hitting the stores sometime in December for an estimated price of $28.99. It's not going to be more because I don't think it has VR built in. But my next question to Nikon would be, where's the 1.2s and 1.4s?
The f is that supposed to mean?
Get off your ass and start making some glass. And there you have it. That's your photo news fix this time around. To check out the last fix, go ahead and click on the screen right here. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And that's where I'm gonna leave it. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.